the beginning, like she was asking me the master, or how, I don't know, I still don't know the name. She was like, "What's your max?" And I was like, at that time it was maybe 100, and she was like, "Okay, I want to put 100," and I was like, "No way, you're completely crazy! Like, we're in the water, like, no,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah, yeah.
no." But she,
Oh, computer. It's rolling.
yay, let's go.
I love that it lets you know. It's like, yeah, you're being recorded. And I was like, I kind of figured when I joined this call.
Kinda.
I wonder how it does it say something at the beginning when you're when you already record and you're not on yet? Something like along the line, you will be recorded once you're on, or?
I'm not sure, but now I just received a message like, now you're recording.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it said this will be on the internet. It's never going away.
Yeah.
This will last forever.
Oh God.
That's actually crazy when you think about that. I always thought before photography I was making music, and I always thought, oh, it's so cool that we produce something, put it out, and it will last longer than we live. So I always thought that's kind of cool. If you're, I don't know, grandchildren can listen to your stuff in 300 years if we're still there.
That was my grandfather.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna assume that none of you guys have teenage kids, but I've got a son that's 16. He's already kind of going through podcasts and stuff that I've been a part of it, and he's embarrassed. If he's embarrassed now, imagine 3 or 4 generations down the road. He'd be like, whatever you do not go to this part of the internet because you'll find granddad. And what he does is not cool.
So, don't go to Instagram. What the fuck is Instagram?
There's this weird thing where they posted all these memes of cats and stuff.
Don't go in the metaverse to the Instagram.
Oh man, Instagram should have its own spot in the metaverse. That'd be cool. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
be so outdated once, I guess.
You only posted pictures?
Yeah, pictures? Yeah. What is that?
That's so last year.
Claudia, how do you pronounce your last name?
I mean, you both are German, so I would say Glück.
Yeah,
but I don't have the umlauts, so I would say Gluck. Like many people just say Gluck, but in French you also say Glück. So Gluck, Glück, wherever you want. I would say Glück. It's cool.
And
but yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, Mads, you're not German.
No, sorry.
No. But my that's what I was thinking. I was like, my godmother's German, so I understand decent German, but I don't think I'd say I speak it well enough to have a sensible conversation in this forum. But if we were just hanging out privately, I'd probably try to do it in German. Yeah. So yeah. But I was just thinking, if you go to when you go to the games, you're going to be Gluck. That's just the way it is.
Let's say so. Gluck.
They're going to butcher that name fast.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But that's kind of cool. You know that in German it means like luck?
Yeah, of course.
That's cool.
Then again, speaking of Instagram and social media, going through your social media accounts, which obviously I did before this, Claudia, I'm not sure you're going to need that much luck. I think like the discipline that you have and the dedication that you have, I don't think you're going to have to rely on luck that much.
All right. That's what I'm trying to, like, working as hard as I can so that I don't rely on luck. Totally.
It doesn't look like you're going to have to.
But that's always a good thing. I mean, I think like Matt Fraser said it once, that he's trying to do everything right in training so that in competition, it's only his fault if something goes wrong.
Totally.
Yeah, but Instagram channel is good. Is a good. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
when I was checking out your Instagram page, I was like really amazed by that one, because I have a bachelor and a master in photography.
Okay.
And basically the study in Germany is like an art school. Like it's not about how you make pictures, but what you want to express with it.
Yep.
So I was like, oh my God, like art and lifting in one place. Can you tell us what that was?
Okay, so that was kind of crazy. It was actually exactly the same period, but last year. Or was it 2 years ago? I can't see it. No, last year. So I got a message like in January about like some I don't know the name in English, but the one who runs the theater, like not the
Like
the
like the
other,
head chef. Oh, okay.
but yeah, the chef of the piece they are trying to build, and they were like, "Oh, we're looking for women who's doing like either weightlifting or whatsoever. Are you interested in?" And I was like, "Come on, it's gonna be the open. I don't have time for that." And I was doing my master degree. I was working at the same time. I had like so many things at the same time, and then I was like, I'm really curious about anything. So I was like, oh, I can always like just say yes for a conversation, and then if I say okay, maybe I won't do it, then I will not do it. So I met that girl, and then we discussed, and it was about that piece of theater. They were looking for a person, a girl, for the very beginning of the piece, and we were not sure about what we were going to do, but it's going to be like water, and they would like to represent like the strengths of women. And we were like discussing, and then we really got on well, really well. And then I got into that, and actually so I did it was 5 or 6 representation during last year's open, and then I was doing like 2 minutes of the beginning of the theater piece, let's say so.
Yeah.
And I was doing clean and jerk in the water.
That's amazing.
Basically, that was it. Yeah, that was
Really
really
cool.
fun. And then
was...
you don't see it in the photo, but actually there was a really famous violinist. Do we say so in English? The one that plays violin. So it was really beautiful. Just like the violin piece, this beautiful wall, water, clean and jerk, music. That was great.
Wow.
But it was really tiring. Like I was working or studying, and then I was training, and then after training I went there to do like the 2 minutes, and then I went back home.
Cool. How long was it?
So you said you were doing this during the open?
Yeah, it was that.
Most athletes, and Tim, you know this because you've spoken to pretty much all of them. It's like most athletes, when it comes to the open, will just not do anything. It's like they'll pretty much, but it's pretty much like, well, they'll go to work if they have to. Otherwise, they'll train, sleep, and then just block themselves out from the rest of the world. I love that you go do this art piece. Just
well,
in the middle of like, yeah, sure,
I'm trying to refuse those kind of stuff now, and I'm trying to be a bit more serious. But how cool is that, though?
Yeah,
it's very cool.
How did they know about you? How did they approach you? Like,
they were actually like sending many messages to CrossFit gyms or just gyms, and I saw this message a few times, and I was just like, oh, no time for that. And then I actually got a message from a friend that was telling me, oh, you should do that. And then I met that girl, and that's how it went.
How big was the audience at that?
I think it was almost full every night, but it wasn't that huge. It was it 100 people or something like that? Maybe 100, but not like a crazy amount of, or maybe 200. I'm not sure. I have to check that.
Were really cool. And how long is the play in total?
I think it was an hour and a half or something like that. But I didn't stay the whole time. Like I stayed for 2 or 3 times, like for the end, and then say hi when my family came and stuff like that. But
really
Claudia,
amazing.
I'm gonna have to ask you. I'm asking
yeah.
all the weird questions. Tim is the one who's civilized. He'll ask all the great questions. I'll ask all the weird ones. No, but a lot of the CrossFit girls that I know personally, and also that I've met through the years, they get a bunch of weird messages on social media. Is it the same for you? It's like as soon as you become a name, and obviously you are a name, it's just like it just gets out of hand, and like it's all kinds of stuff. It's like, well, it's the weird ones obviously, and it's just the ones that are like, well, change my life kind of thing. What do I need to do to become like you? You're like my biggest inspiration, stuff like that. Do you get a bunch of that?
Sorry, you're gonna be disappointed, but not really.
I'm not disappointed though. I'm like, if you don't get weird messages, I'm the happiest guy ever. Like weird messages, no thank you.
So no,
But it's just like,
I don't
you don't get it.
remember any like really weird message.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Well, you're just more civilized at the southern
Yeah,
parts of Europe than we are up here, I think.
But that's definitely fall in the category of something like special, I think.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And you said it's about strengths and women?
I mean, the whole piece, it was kind of like it was like messages. So there is a line in France, I think in every country, where you can call if you're totally depressed. So, and those were recorded, and then the master used it as like she made a theater out of it. So you had like several pieces, like 5 or 6, with different meanings. Sometimes it was like a completely stupid monologue with like cats and stuff like that. But sometimes it was with more meaning. And yeah, at the very beginning, it was like just the violin, and yeah, she wanted to represent strength. I don't really understood everything of the piece. Yeah. Like at some point we had a cow walking in. I don't know, and I still don't know why, and I didn't ask why. I think sometimes you cannot ask. But really,
it's
like
art. It's
art.
Art.
Yeah, it's art, so you don't have to ask.
Everything goes with art.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, that picture, my dad printed it, and he put it in my room at my parents' place. So I have myself like that big in my old room at my parents' place. It's really weird, but it's kind of funny though.
I like really that cool. Your dad did it.
Yeah.
And how did you feel during the presentation?
Well, it was fun. I really enjoyed the fact that it was with the violin. It was really like strong, let's say. But like after 3 times you did it, you're kind of like, I'm tired. But still, it was a cool experience. Like, I'm glad I accepted.
Yeah. How many clean and jerks did you do in 2 minutes? Was it like an M-rep, or did you take it easy?
No, it was really like, yeah, like I did like 4 and then 3 and then 2 and then maybe 1. So a bit less than 10, something like that. But at some point I had to go like fast and then a bit less. But it was fun because we had to build it, like the whole thing. And then at the beginning, like she was asking me the master, or how, I don't know, I still don't know the name. She was like, what's your max? And I was like, at that time it was maybe 100. And she was like, okay, I want to put 100. And I was like, no way, you're completely crazy. Like, we're in the water, like, no. No. But she had no clue, like, because she wanted it to seem real, so we couldn't just put 5. I think I had 55 or 45, or like, it wasn't that heavy, but still, like, if she could choose, she would have put like 100.
Let's go for 101 kilos.
Yeah, so it was really like fun.
And if you'd said yes, she'd probably just take it a little bit further. Next time we'd be like, yeah, we want you completely submerged.
Yeah.
You'd be like, no, excuse me, what? Yeah, we're going to go 100 kilo clean, but you're going to be underwater. The barbell's just going to explode out of the water. And you're like,
totally.
Yeah, no, I'm just going to pass on this one. Yeah.
Yep.
But really interesting. Was it, were you nervous the first time?
No, I won't say no, but before CrossFit, I did rhythmic gymnastics. So I had that already, like, it was only 2 minutes, really stressful. A lot of people were looking at you. You couldn't do any mistake. So I was trained to that. So it wasn't really that stressful. Like, it's really different from CrossFit, and I feel like I'm not stressed at all now in CrossFit for the audience and stuff like that. But also, like, I was used to that kind of environment.
I still hope you got paid.
I'm sorry?
I hope you got paid handsomely for this.
Yeah, it was quite okay.
That's good. That's good. No, but I mean, it's obviously really, really nice. And the product, just remember that Tim has a master's in photography, and he's impressed.
I really like it.
Yeah.
which is a good place to start. But I mean, it's also, it's still modeling and it's still hard
I really
work,
like
and it's in the middle of the open. Yeah. So
I really like it because like, in a way, CrossFit or the sport of functional fitness like changed my perspective of strong women totally, like 5 years ago. And I think that's a cool message to capture in art,
Yeah, totally.
Like that woman can be strong and should be strong and can do all the things men do and whatever, and do lifting stuff and things, and to capture that in a photograph, that's pretty cool, or in a play.
Yeah, totally.
Is it like director? Like a movie director?
Maybe director, yeah.
Maybe that's the word.
The master.
I'd love to be able to help, but I'm so far out of my league when it comes to theater. I don't think I've been there for quite some time.
We're gonna Google that afterwards.
Yeah. Or do we really want to know afterwards once this is in the ether? It's like, do we
yeah,
really want to know?
Yeah. I either want to start the conversation with that one, or with your Instagram information where it says,
the bio.
do you really live with 30 cows in your backyard?
Yeah, I mean, not where I am now, because now I live with my boyfriend, but at my parents' place, really, I have like 30 plus cows in the backyard. It's not ours, but it's the farmer's one. And yeah, they are just cool.
And where do you grow up in France?
So it's in the countryside, like near Strasbourg.
So not so far away from Germany, actually.
Yeah, really not far. 30 minutes, less than 30 minutes.
But your parents' place is not a farm.
No, it's not a farm.
Did you ever do farm work?
Yeah, I did several times.
Tim, that's the thing. You're starting to see the pattern, right? It's like everybody who's successful in some way, shape, or form has at some point worked at a farm.
I didn't well, I did work at a farm. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, if you're coming through the ranks and you're getting into CrossFit right now, you need to seek out a farm.
Yeah, that's the tip,
breaking the mold.
Guys.
Who's also working at a farm? Like, no, I know Colt Mertens has a pig farm, I think.
This is correct. And you look at Hepner, same thing. You look at Rich, it's the same thing, Hepner. Right? It's just like that list goes on. So yeah. No, but I think, in all honesty, I think there's something about working, if it's in a farm or if it's industrial work or something like that. It's just like the discipline of having to get up early, and also having dependencies of livestock, for example. It's like you need to take care of it. We can all laugh at it, but I mean that builds character. It's just the way it is. So
probably.
I think good on you.
What was the name of this? What was the name of this guy in the old days? Like in a Froning area, there was also like a farmer.
No idea.
Also, I think like could it be Hendren? I think Marcus Hendren. He was also like a crazy farm guy with loads of acres. But whatever.
Sorry,
we're just saying it's a recipe for success. You've done it, and obviously that's another one of the reasons you're going to be successful, and you are successful. So yeah.
Good.
Have you did you do your lockdown season with the cows next to you, or?
Yeah, exactly. I can send you a picture. I actually have videos on my coach's YouTube channel. I can send you that afterwards. It's really fun. I do like buck jump on my on the wall of my not house, like how do you call that? Yeah, the balcony kinda. And then I do ring muscle ups on my the balcony, the stuff that goes out of it. And yeah, it was really fun.
And cows are in the background, like,
Yeah,
what is this
exactly.
girl doing all day long?
Yeah. And
that looks exhausting.
Hey, look over there,
part,
Barry. That's elite.
Yeah, it was like when like my neighborhood, they just crossed by and I was doing like burpees for time and they were just like, "Hi Claudia, how are you doing?" And I was like no, not the moment now. I cannot talk. But they just don't know, like if you see someone you just say hi, but sometimes when you're working out it's not possible.
Yeah. Please come back in 7 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Like not now.
What?
You can join me tomorrow for more lovely fun
exactly.
here at the farm. We'll be working out again.
Yeah, and then
the cow audience
really
is
rude,
enjoying
but,
us.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the hardest part during the lockdown for you with your training? Like, what did you miss the most?
I would say everything related to like pull-ups and stuff like that, because I didn't had anything at home. But at some point I was so pissed. So like my dad is working in a factory, so he built a pull-up bar for me, and then I managed to just put it on the house.
That is a
that was
nice
fun.
dad.
Yeah, it's really nice knowing him and how is it, like he can be really strict, like with like, no, you don't touch that part of the house, like it should be like this. So that was really like a love a show of love, if we can say so.
Yeah. No, but I think it's interesting when you start talking to people how they dealt with the whole quarantine and 2 years of being out of the gyms. It's like it's so different what people miss. Some people will be like, "Oh, it was the sparring, not having somebody to kind of measure myself against every day, pushing me a little bit further." And that meant that when I got to the first competitions afterwards, I just had no idea where I was at. And for other people, it's more like, well, you know, it was the weightlifting. I didn't have anybody who could look at my weightlifting, or gymnastics, where it's like, yeah, you know, I kept on doing the same things, but I wasn't really getting the coaching. So it's just interesting to find out.
Obviously, I missed a lot of things, but I remember that I was really pissed with that. But at the same time, like that's one of part of the CrossFit I'm like really good at, and I don't really need to work on. Of course, I always have to work on, but so I could focus on more like on other stuff, and I had rings. So I think that's where I got really good at ring muscle ups, because I only did ring muscle ups during that time. So yeah.
Do you think it's what you do of what you make of a situation like that?
Oh,
do you know what I mean? It's like it's you can't really do anything about a global pandemic. It's just like when those suckers come around, you just got to adapt to it, kind of thing. And you can either choose to be positive about it and then get the best out of it, or you can choose to focus on, like, obviously 99.9% of the population of the world are going to say, I'm just going to focus on the things that I can control. But I'm just wondering, are you you seem like a very positive person. Is that, like, do you perceive yourself as being a positive person, or more of a Matt Fraser where it's like, yeah, just have at it, I'm going to kill you anyways? Kind of like, what's your drive? What's your driving force?
No, I think I'm a really positive person. I don't know what else can I say about that. But yeah, I think like that's like what my families always tell me, or people around me, like, how can you see that situation being so positive? We're like in a global pandemic, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, I can still train, I can work, I can like see my family. Of course I cannot meet my friends, or like, but we're not dead, we're here.
Isn't it crazy when we at our age start talking about the fact that we're grateful that we're not dead? Kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
Are these machines in your story a leftover of the lockdown, Or is it,
yeah.
it seems like every day you post a story where you train at home, I think, and there's just one room with a rower,
yep,
a bike, and all the machines, and I was like,
correct.
That looks like some kind of lockdown modus.
Yeah, I bought the bike. My boyfriend bought a rower, but at the beginning we were not together. Like he was with his parents, I was with mine. So and then we bought the ski afterwards, like the next Christmas. So we have them all. I mean the ergs at least.
Yeah. But were they hard to get?
I think I still had to wait like 2-3 weeks or something, but it was still not that bad.
Yeah, I tried to get a rower.
Yeah.
In I think the second lockdown in Germany, it was impossible.
That was
impossible to
more
get.
hard. It was the first one when I bought it.
Everything was sold out. Like you couldn't even get a dumbbell or thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you need to have a box that you can walk into that box and just grab stuff and just walk out. I'm not saying I did that, but I'm saying it would be great if you could. No, but it was weird in Sweden because I'm in Stockholm, I'm in Sweden, and we didn't. There was never a lockdown as such. It was like we could always cruise around. The gyms were always open and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but there was a limit to how many people could be in the box at the same time, so you never really knew. So the first thing that happened was that I went to CrossFit Nordic, got myself a rower, brought it home, and I was like, if they lock down, I'm good to go.
I'm good.
Then they never did, so the rower was taken back fast enough. So yeah.
Oops. But you tried.
Yeah, interesting.
I tried. Yeah, I'm hoping my wife, who owns the box, doesn't see this. She'd be like, "You're the one who stole the rower." I'm like, "Yeah, I did."
I hope she never listens to that podcast then.
She will. I'll get in trouble. It'll be worth it.
So Claudia, how have you found CrossFit or the sport?
How I found it? So it was 2016 during the summer. So I did rhythmic gymnastics my whole youth, let's say so, and then also when I was a teenager. And then I knew after high school I had to switch sports because I had to move. Like I was going to another city for my studies. And then at that time I was best friend with a girl in the US. So I went there during that summer. And then I discovered boxing and I was like, maybe I should try that when I go back home. And then I tried like just 1 or 2 class there. And it was like, okay, it wasn't so good and it wasn't so bad. I was just like, why not? And then when I went back home, I still had like 1 month or so of holidays because obviously like this like during in between high school and then the higher studies, you have like more holidays whatsoever. And then I googled boxing coach in Strasbourg, and then I found a guy called Usman, and I contacted him and I was like, I have some time. I want to start boxing. Are you still doing coaching on that? And then I met him and it was actually in a CrossFit gym, but like upstairs. They had like a dojo. Do we say so in English? Dojo?
Yeah.
And then when I went there, I was looking and I was like, what's that sport? That sounds cool. And then we were discussing, and then he told me, oh, that's CrossFit. I've never heard about it. And then actually, like, boxing wasn't that crazy for me. And then, like, I did like a few coaching one-on-one with him. And then I said, I don't want to do boxing anymore. I want to do CrossFit with you. So we did, and then I had to go. I had to start school. It was in a city called Colmar in Alsace, and my school was next to a gym that just opened that summer. So the first day of school, I signed up there, and I was a new member.
First question: what do you study?
So now I'm done, but I did business management.
So are you in a fortunate position where you're done and you've gotten a job?
Yeah. So I finished my master degree last September. Yeah, we're 2020, so last September. And now so I did it in German. You call it duale. So I was working and studying at the same time. And I stayed in that same company, but I'm working like, let's say, part-time. It's a bit less than a part-time.
Oh,
but
wow.
I'm done with the
So
school.
you studied, you worked, and you were working out and got to that level.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I was just going to ask, how are you going to balance this? But that's just not going to be a question for you. It's like, next question, please. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, really cool. Did you do this rhythmic gymnastic like competitive?
I will say yes, but it was like not the same level. I could go to, like, at best when we were younger, we went to the French I won't say throwdown, but it's championship.
Yeah.
French championship. And we won like in 2009, but we were like really small and it wasn't like high level. It was like, it's still something and it's cool. But then I would say I was like kind of a regional athlete, let's say so, like regional level.
And when did you decide to, or when did you found out that you can do like CrossFit competitive and that you want to do that?
I think it was kind of a step-by-step thing. Like I discovered it, and obviously I did competition my whole life, so I knew like I like competition. So when I started CrossFit, I didn't think of competition at first, but like I was kind of good at learning it, and then my coach told me, oh, you should do that small competition we're organizing inside the gym. So I did it, and then I did like a little bit bigger competition in the region, and then in France, and then it got bigger and bigger. And at some point in 2000, like I was traveling also a lot for my studies, because the bachelor, it was in Germany, Switzerland, and then I did internships as well. So I couldn't do that many competition, but in 2019, 2020, just before lockdown, I did quite several competition, like nationally mostly. And I think I did IF3, that was in 2019, or I can't remember. Or no, 22. I'm so bad with dates. I think it was 19. But yeah, and then I was like, oh, that's getting somewhere, kind of like, and then I like I could get better, and I was still like studying and working, and then I was like, oh, and then it was mostly last year, end of last year, that I kind of decided to really give it a go, as I'm not full time, but almost full time, and then that I will make everything around everything in my life to optimize my training and my recovery and blah blah blah.
What was your highlight so far?
Oh, so hard to pick. Many different.
How was it like running up that huge thing in Dubai?
That was not a highlight at all.
Not at all?
That was boring. I mean, the whole experience, and when you're upstairs, it's really cool. Like, Matt Fraser gives you that bottle of water, you did it, you're at the top, and like, what the hell? What had just happened? But during that time, oh, you're just wondering about life, climbing upstairs. And at first I thought, okay, we would have like that nice view with windows, and oh, that's gonna be cool. No, no, no. It was like that lights, really yellow lights with just small little, like it was 1 meter large or something, maybe a bit more, but ooh, that was so boring.
That's
definitely
funny.
not a highlight.
That's funny because I'm always saying this when somebody asks me what I like the least about CrossFit, and I always tell them like running, because running for me is the only movement in CrossFit where I can think about other things while doing it. You know,
True.
everything else, like toes about whatever, I'm just being in a moment and think about like doing the movements correctly. But in running, everything over like 200 meters, you can think about anything else, and I hate that. I think it's so boring.
Claudia,
we were not running up those stairs. We were not running. Maybe like the 2 or 3 first, but everyone else were just walking.
I don't think anybody ran the entire way. Yeah. It looked horrendous. Claudia, who's your do you have an idol? Do you have somebody who's like, if that is my role model, that's the person I'm kind of molding myself to be?
That's John Cena.
Ooh.
Okay.
Now I understand this. Now I understand.
Yeah. Of course.
Tell us some more. Where did that come from?
Just I was watching the WWE my whole teenage life, or even earlier, and I just thought he's so cool. And yeah, I don't know, it just my first love. No, that's a kind of a joke, but still, like, really.
But not really.
Yeah, really, not really. I hope someday he comes and then we just do a competition together. No,
just
but
make sure he doesn't have to run.
Really, I enjoyed watching wrestling, and then he was my favorite. I think he just represented everything really cool. Like, I don't know, just a cool guy.
Like I
what do you mean? What does he represent?
You understand why I always do this at competition?
No,
I'm just sending him messages like, look at me, I exist.
No, because I'm always asking on Instagram, like, if some of my followers have questions for the guests, and my brother actually asked her if she has to pick like John Cena or Matt Fraser, and I was like,
ooh, John Cena for sure.
What is that question?
For sure, John Cena.
And now I understand it.
Yeah. Good question.
That is a good question, but it's like, I just love that you have that, like that's your answer, because everybody, like literally everybody else would either be nobody. I think I can beat everybody, and you're like, oh, that's great, congratulations. Or it's like, you get the regular kind of like the usual suspects, like it's Annie, or it's Rich, or it's Matt, or somebody like that. This is the best answer in the world.
For me, it's John.
No, dude, I love your answer. I think this is awesome. This is brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know
what would happen if he stepped into the room right now? If he just walked into the room right now, would you be able to contain yourself, or would you just be like,
of course, I would just have so many questions.
What would you, what would you ask him?
Can you do? No, it's really weird. I cannot.
Go ahead. This is a weird conversation. I love it.
Like, can you do a FU to me? It's like his famous trick in WWE. And then I would ask, can I do it to you, like, to see if I can do it? Maybe that would be the first question.
and then he will answer,
are you going team?
I'm sorry?
The next one would be, are you going team? Because hey,
I'm
kind of looking for a team. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
And then he would answer, only if you can clean and jerk me.
Of course. Easy.
And you have to clean and jerk him.
112, I think he weighs. I'm not that far.
Okay.
Like he may be 112 and a half today. You never know.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, okay, cool. Yeah. You can do that.
Now I understand, my brother.
Yeah.
I was like,
Good question.
eh?
She would pick
Your
my
brother-
Fraser for sure.
Your brother's dialed in, dude.
Yeah. He's always stalking my guests, I think.
Cool.
So let's say that you were not doing CrossFit now.
Yep.
Would wrestling be where would you be going down that road?
Totally. When I'm done with CrossFit, I'll do wrestling.
We're not joking now. I'm dead serious.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
I'm serious as well.
I love you. Seriously, you're like my new hero. This is
Thanks.
so cool. This is so cool. Man, finally. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Would you go with your name, or would you have like an artist name?
Claudia Gluck when I'm married? No, I don't know. No, I don't know yet. For now, I would say my name, but I don't think it's sexy enough for the WWE like Claudia Gluck.
You'll just be the Glockster.
Yeah, the Gluck. I don't know yet.
Wow.
They have interesting names. So
yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Man.
But
you're not this weird. Yeah, sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I've got this borderline Tourette kind of thing when everything that pops up in my head is shot out my mouth with absolutely no hesitation, and I really need to kind of just stop that right now because I'm traveling down that road of going just so many questions. It's like, okay, so what outfit are you going to use? The next question is going to be, are you going to go tag team, or are you going to go individual? It's like, let's not get into that. I'm sorry. Just really good answers.
And what's gonna be your music? Your walk out, your walk in.
Good question.
Good question.
I don't know yet. I enjoyed the violin, so something with violin. You did music. What was the kind of music you did?
We did like German pop music, like stuff you could hear on the radio. It was really cheesy.
Like Namika or stuff like that?
Like really like soft rock. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. At the time we were like, oh yeah, we're doing alternative rock, but it really was like pop music.
Okay, cool.
Claudia, I'm just presenting an idea, and obviously when you start moving into the wrestling world, feel free to use it or not. I think you should walk into Camina Burana and just kind of let it fill the entire stadium. I think you'd be awesome. Yeah. Yes. And on that bombshell, back to CrossFit, which you're really good at.
Yep.
Yeah, you're not done with CrossFit, so
no, not yet.
No.
A few more years, I hope.
What are your goals for this season, for the coming season? Well,
I want to do everything to qualify for the CrossFit Games. So
and what about this semifinal?
Yeah, it's gonna be in Germany. I'm excited.
It's gonna be crazy. I think this is gonna be the biggest and craziest like semifinal ever, if not competition in Europe.
Yeah,
it's
gonna be ridiculous.
It's gonna be crazy. Yeah.
The ladies' field is going to be so deep and so talented. It's going to be insane. Now, even the guys are going to be good, no doubt about it. They're going to be some really, really good names that are going to be able to do really, really well.
Yep.
But the women's side of the house, if there was ever a Shark Tank, I think this is it.
Yep.
This is it.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it like the other day. Even the second heat is gonna be really interesting. But if they're running it like in a format they've done it like with 10 people per heat, and 10 people qualify, so the second heat has also like a shot like making it. So that's gonna be like, I don't know.
Totally, yeah. Insane.
I think 5 to 15 is gonna be so close.
Yeah.
It's gonna be blow by blow kind of thing. It's gonna be really, really, really tough.
Yep.
So what would you say are the reasons that you're going to make it this year? And I don't. So, let's just be honest. We're past the stereotypical. Well, I'm just going to work harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like what would you? What would a perfect world to you look like? What would happen in the Open that would be where you'd be like, this is the edge that I need. This is where I'm going to start making a move. And then when you get to the semifinals, be like, okay, so if this happens, then I think I'm going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think obviously like training, I've like for many years, and I will say from the beginning it has been really serious. Like, and what I think is great is that I have really a great team behind, and maybe everyone says so, but I think your team is really important. And what we did like the past few years, and I think everyone does so, like you're analyzing what was missing, and then we're working on that, and blah blah blah. But I think what we will see, and I hope, I don't want to say hope because it's not hope we said, but I really changed my way of life in the sense that like now I'm working out, and then I have the time to recover. Like before that, as like last September, I was just working, training, studying, like no time off, like really literally I don't know how I survived. But like now I'm also training more, but like recovering more, having the like I'm taking the time to actually do nothing, which is hard for me. But like today we just spent time with my boyfriend, we were having coffees, we went out for a walk. I think that's really important. Like the higher you want to get to, like the higher level, like that's something really important. And also like that's another thing, but for example last year I was also doing another diploma to become a coach, because in France you cannot only have the level 1, you have to like have another degree for like the country, and I was doing that, so that was something more. And for example, like the weekend before semifinals last year, I was in a weekend for that degree, and we were like doing stupid like not workouts, but like with rope skipping, blah blah blah. So I was just doing that. It was 5 hours, a drive like 5 hours away, for 4 hours back, like just that's not something you want to do like the weekend before semifinals. You were supposed to test the workout and recover and eat well and sleep well. I wasn't doing that at all.
I love that. Everybody else is like drinking holy water and breathing air that's gone through a filter
But I
of
mean,
angels and stuff like that. And you're just like, yeah, I'm just skipping rope.
But I wanted to do that, so I don't want to say like at that time I was still doing everything I could and I wanted. So I don't think it's bad I did, but I just know also that if I want to reach what I want to reach this year, I cannot do that anymore. And I'm happy I did last year, but now I want to do something else. So I'm just working towards what I want to do.
What was your placement last year?
10th in lowlands. So.
And every time somebody wins something, you always get this. You always ask the same question. It's like, "Oh, congratulations! How does it feel?" And they're always like, "Oh, well, it feels really, really good." And you're like, "Obviously, because you just won." And then the second question is like, what do you think is the reason why you were able to do so well? And you always get the same question. You always get the same answer. It's always like, "Well, I've been injury free for the last year. Been able to train." Have you been injury free?
Yeah, I did. I'm touching.
There you go. You're gonna win.
And I'm touching.
No. We're talking past. We're talking past tense, so we're not jinxing anything forward. I'm just asking like what it's been like for you.
Yeah.
Up until this point.
Yeah, I'm lucky. My boyfriend is or was, now he's not doing it anymore, but he's a physio. So like as fast as I'm feeling a bit something, I'm just talking to him like, oh, I can feel this in my back, or I can feel that in my leg. That's a bit work, and we work on that. So we're more doing like prehab than rehab. So we're not getting to that point that it's really bad.
That's a good that's a good guy in the corner to have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. It's like when Tim and I call, it's usually like, yeah, we'll schedule you for a time next week. You're more like, yeah, let's just take care of that right now.
Good.
I'm always when I talk about the semifinal, I'm like, I have, like you, Matt, I have like the pictures in my head, like how they're gonna do the award ceremony with like a pyramid of people, like 10 people standing up for each other.
I don't know.
I'm just gonna guess now. I don't know yet. I think there's a chance I may be in Berlin. There's a pretty decent chance, but I think they're probably just gonna go 1, 2, 3, and then have everybody else stand on the side.
Yeah, I would say so.
But that's so boring. That's so boring.
I know. The pyramid's such a better idea. Yes.
Or maybe the starting mats back again on the mats with like 1 to 10. Easy.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I like the pyramid better. I think it'd be cool if you guys are all on pyramids, just like
Totally.
That'd be cool.
They should do it like I watched a podcast. Sorry. I watched a podcast with that. Oh man.
No worries.
Oh. They should do it like this one.
I cannot see that. Oh yeah, that could be fun. That would be fun.
So if you're into wrestling, you'd think that'd be fun, but if you're not, then
yeah, you don't.
You may have hesitation. No. So the last workout will be get to the top of this thing.
Get to the top of the pyramid.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
You are allowed to wrestle people, yeah.
I think that's in Spain.
Yep, it is.
That looks insane, dude.
But you need more than 10 people to do that.
Yeah. Like all the others who didn't make it can be on the bottom. And then the 10 qualifiers will be lifted up. Like
that's so bad.
This escalated fast.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could be.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And we're gonna go.
And I think that's a kid on top of it. Isn't that a kid?
Yep.
That's a kid with a helmet on. Oh my god. That's not safe.
So what I'm hearing here is that we're gonna need Annie Sakamoto to come to Europe with a helmet so she can be on top.
Perfect.
Shortest athlete ever.
Smallest qualifier on top, please. Oh man. But that's in Spain. How is the sport like recognized in France these days? In your opinion, in your eyes?
For CrossFit?
Yeah.
How it's recognized, or
is it like in the public, like really like growing, or is it still like a small thing? Like,
no, I would say it's growing. Like it doesn't stop growing. Like even just the number of CrossFit gyms that are opening those days, and like when you're talking with people, like even 2 or 3 years ago, when you told people I'm doing CrossFit, they were like, "What's that?" And now at least they heard about it. No, I would say it's growing and it doesn't stop for now.
Is CrossFit attracting athletes from other sports, or is it the reason I'm asking is in the Nordics anyways, or in Scandinavia, what happened was usually that you were kind of done with another sport and then you'd move into CrossFit. And then it's gotten to a point now where it's like CrossFit is the thing that is your sport. And we're starting to see all these horrendous young people that never did anything else at CrossFit, and hate those people, who are just really, really good at CrossFit because they never done anything else. But when it kind of started getting that recognition, it was usually that people would come from other sports into CrossFit. Is it the same in France?
Yeah, I would say it's a mix. It's a mix of both, I would say.
you now become the voice of CrossFit for France, just so you know.
Ooh.
So Daniel Shappy
Yeah.
is just gonna have to sit. He's just gonna have to sit in the back seat and be polite for a second.
Yeah, I said it, so it's true.
Yeah. Sorry there, Daniel, but Claudia said this, and so she says go.
But no, that's a good question, because you work out in the same gym as Victor Hoffer, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's like a young sensation. He's a young sensation. He's gonna.
Yeah. He is. He was doing gymnastics before. Artistic gymnastics.
Yeah, I saw him at the World Championships. I think
he's 19, isn't he?
Yeah.
Is he 19?
I saw him at the World Championships of Functional Fitness, and I was just like, oh shoot! I'd never seen him in the flesh, so to speak, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, what is this kid? And he's like, he's literally a kid, or he was then. Now he's a young man. I was just like, oh, I'm so glad I'm old and not competing against something like that. It's just like, wow.
How old are you, Claudia? I don't even know how old you are. 34 or 24?
Yeah.
24. Oh, 24. You have a chance.
Yeah.
you can do it. No, really. Yeah. No, really, because if you like, some athletes like only come into this, that's also about your question, Mads. Like, some athletes come into the sport so late in their career, like in the end 20s, or like even like the beginning of the 30s, and you, if there's not an anomaly, you can tell, okay, maybe like going to the games is the biggest they're gonna ever achieve. Like, they're not gonna win it, but in mid-20s, you have a chance to win.
Yeah,
we're not talking about chance.
Yes.
But so that's actually that's a good question. So Claudia, let's say that. So when you go to the games, and would you look at the first time at the games as more like, okay, so I'm just going to figure out how this works. I'm just going to see how I kind of stack myself, because it's competition wise, it's different. Workout wise, it's different. Environment wise, it's different. We're still going to go back to Madison. Thank God we're not going to Alabama. But still, we're going back to Madison. But it is a different thing. So when you go the first time, are you going to look at it as, this is a learning experience, I'm going to find out how this works? Next time I come back, I'm going to start setting up some goals? Or would you have some goal? You don't have to out those goals here in case you feel comfortable with it. But would you have a goal for the first time and be like, okay, so I'm going to go top 10?
I think it's a mix of both. Like, there are like stuff, like as you said before, stuff you can control and stuff you cannot control. Of course, the first time, like the games are something really different than any other competition. Like, we have like 15 workouts of stuff like that. So like, I don't have the I don't want to put any words, but I'm not gonna say, okay, I'm gonna win the CrossFit Games. Like, of course, there are so many steps before that, but you never know. Like, if all the workouts are like perfect for you, and then like you're in like the best shape of your life, and then like everything works well, like you never know.
Why not?
So of course I'm gonna do my best, and of course this year I just want like, I don't like to say just, but I want to qualify to go there and give my best, and then go there again like the years to come. So I just don't want to like blow myself for 1 year and then do everything and then get injured and then injury, blah blah blah.
Yeah. What's the perfect workout for you?
Ooh.
Had to ask.
I would say it has like one that exists. I would say it was a quarterfinal last year with GHD ring muscle ups and pistol squats. Like anything with ring muscle ups is really good. Handstand walking, like anything gymnastics related. But then I'm not that difficult. I like also like box jumps overs. A lot of movements, like cheaper style. That's my jam. And like high volume gymnastics.
Was Dubai the biggest competition so far when it comes to like volume?
I think we had more workouts at the French Throwdown, but it was 9 workouts, 3 per day, and Dubai it was 3, and then 1 workout. Was it like that? I think so.
I think so, yeah, I think so.
So yeah, more or less the second biggest.
Yeah, it's still not the games with 15.
No.
But
no.
Also talking about like my kind of workouts, I really like those. Obviously, the one I won in Dubai, like interval style workouts with dumbbell thrusters, just burpee box jumps over, shuttle runs, and it was at semifinals. I also like placed really well in a interval like this. It was chest to bars, the thrusters, and box jumps over, burpee box jumps over, and it was also like 2 on, 1 off, 4 times or something like that. Like those type of workouts.
What would you say is your biggest hole or your biggest weakness?
I'm working on not having any anymore. But it takes some time. I would say anything related with the machines. That's why I'm working a lot on them, on those badass machines. So yeah, the machines, and I think I'm getting decent now in strength. But for sometimes it was also strength because I'm not that big and not that heavy. So yeah.
How tall are you?
160 centimeters.
Okay, so that's too big to be on top of the human pyramid.
Oh yeah, sorry. We'll put Valentina Magalotti on the top of it.
Yeah, I think so.
I like that we're just throwing her under the bus. Poor woman. It's like, I don't know why I was called out in this podcast, but apparently I'm on top of the pyramid now. It's like, yep, you sure
She's the coolest. You can call her.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was so amazing that like I think it was in Dubai too, where Matt Fraser like bumped her up to the rings.
Exactly.
Or the pull-up bar. So
yeah,
good.
That was crazy.
So good.
So this, yeah, okay. So I'm going to be the asshole. Question to the both of you: in a competition setting, let's say that the rings are set at a certain height, or the pull-up bar is set at a certain height. Do you think it is fair that a shorter athlete is then given help to reach the apparatus?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yeah, I think it is fair, but like there's always going to be that discussion with like Brent Fikowski because he's so tall that he's not able to kip because the pull-up bar is not high enough. So they should also like consider that thing, like, but it's obviously like harder. But yeah, it should be fair for everybody. Like,
well, that's the reason I ask, because it's like it's one of these reoccurring conversations. I don't have a smart answer. I used to be like, of course it's fair, and then I'm like, then I kind of pivoted a bit, and I was like, well, you know, it needs to be the same for everybody, and it's de facto not the same. And part of the challenge is actually getting there. And now I'm just in between those two, going, I don't know. I just want to see people compete. I just want to see them have fun. I don't know where I'm at. So it's just like, I don't want. I mean, I remember way back. I watched Annie Sakamoto at the region when there was still the regionals in SoCal, and she was her rings were so high, and the wind was blowing a bit, and so she couldn't jump up and get them right, and nobody was helping her out. So it was like I kind of got in her way, and obviously I was heartbroken for Annie. So she's like, shit, that's not cool. So I get it, and I just wanted to hear you guys as well, where you were at. If you come up with a really smart answer, don't hesitate to share it, because I'm kind of in between those two right now, and I'd really like to be passionate about one of those answers.
But there's always going to be, like, in that sport, there's always going to be that discussions, because if you don't like same thing for weightlifting, you don't have weight classes, so of course it's not really fair for everybody, but you just have to deal with it, you know. And if somebody is taller, yeah, that's gonna suck at some point, but also be an advantage at another point. Like,
yeah, exactly.
when they had that workout with burpees with jumping to the bar, Brent couldn't even stand up at all. He was so like dumb, and everybody was like, oh. So yeah, it's not going to be fair all the time, but yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah.
But I think that's also like a great thing about the sport, that some people like overcome these things. Like for me, for example, like one of my favorite all-time moments in the sport at the games is like when Josh Bridges, like in the last heat at like, I don't know, 30 something placement he took at that year, but then he made that 400 pounds yoke, and he was able to completely do it and freaks out, and that was so electrifying. Like it was, that's also creating like moments like that, like really cool moments.
Imagine if it was set so high that he couldn't, so he'd have to get under it and overhead, like have it overhead and then walk. That would be really, really crazy. Yeah.
But also, have you guys like watched Wodapalooza with the rings like flying all over the place and like people not getting? I was watching it, that this is ridiculous. They should stop the workout now.
I was in Thailand at the time, and my internet connection was not great. But I was like watching it. I was watching that, and I'm just like, how are they going to solve it? They didn't. So no, I thought it was hilarious where I was from, because it was like the video was cutting all the time, and then you caught up, and people just got more and more frustrated. But no. I'll put it this way: as long as it's not a qualifier to go somewhere else, have at it. Hey, the weather's going to mess with you, cool. But if it's a qualifier where it's like one heat it'll be super windy, another one it won't be, it'll be a different advantage, then I'm just like, I don't think that's cool.
But I've heard also like several, like I'm listening to a lot of podcasts, and I think it was Alexis Raptis talking about like how like after this year's games, she said like, I'm gonna practice a lot more those type of stuff, like the wind throwing like at my rings or stuff like that, like outside stuff that you don't know before you actually like had to face it, like really training or working out in the sun, like on a stadium, and not like inside in your gym. So that's a huge part of, I would say games training.
Yeah, I mean, just look at doing burpees and jumping over hay bales, right? It's like you had a bunch of people who've never been close to hay, and they all showed up in like little little shorts and little top, and you're like, oh, that's gonna hurt you. That is not gonna be nice. And then there's other people who've been in the country at some point, and they're just like long pants, long sleeve shirts, and they're like, yep, let's get it.
And then there are people like Claudia who have for like 30 cows in the backyard for most of their life, and they just know.
You just know.
But Claudia, we're gonna respect for your time.
Thank you.
I have a speed round at the end of every interview, where I ask you some questions and you answer as fast as you can.
Oh my God.
If Mads doesn't have anything else.
I've got nothing. I'm looking forward to this one. I'm looking forward to this one.
Okay. We go. Are you ready?
Yeah, I am.
First one, snatch or clean and jerk?
Clean and jerk.
Fruit or no. Some fruit or no sugar?
Fruits.
Fraser or Froning?
Cena.
That's the next one. Fraser or Cena?
Cena.
100 burpees for time or 5K row?
Burpees.
Ooh, yeah. And the last one, Tiatumi or Iceland?
Kristin Holte.
Ooh. Yeah, Norway is coming.
Yeah.
I had Andreas Sober and Mathilde Gans before you, and
nice.
when I researched, like Norway is crazy this year.
Yeah.
They have like 5 or 6 athletes who are really into the competition. It's crazy.
Yes.
And a team. Oslo.
Yeah, and a team.
They've got 2 teams from Oslo.
Yeah, Claudia, thank you. I'm gonna
Thank
stop
you,
the
guys.
recording. That was really fun.
Yeah, it was so nice.
We're